Have you ever thought to yourself, this is too early for next year's iPhone leaks? Spoiler alert, apparently it's not. Hey, what's up guys, it's AVD. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Tech Highlights, show that gives you weekly tech news in the best way possible. Okay, so as I promised, I am back, and we've got quite a lot of tech news this week, including Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, and OnePlus. By the way, this episode marks the 10th episode of Weekly Tech Highlights, so thank you guys so much for supporting me. All of you 32 subscribers, you guys rock. I have a lot more content planned in the future, so don't forget to subscribe and of course hit that notification bell so you can stay updated with the latest that I post. Anyhow, without any further ado, let's get into this week's video. Okay, my man, Ming Chico is back with more 2020 iPhone leaks, and the first major leak that we're hearing is that we're gonna get a metal frame, which, by the way, is going to be squared off like the iPhone 4. An awesome throwback from Apple for next year's iPhones. I like that Apple's finally continuing with the nostalgia, because this was one of the most iconic designs ever created by Apple. And the next thing, I think everyone's going to be excited for this, you would have seen it in the thumbnail already. Well, next year's iPhones are going to have no notch so far. If it has no notch, and if Apple manages to implement all of the sensors in that tiny bezel at the top, I'm going to go as far as to say this is going to be the most exciting phone of the decade and the most radical design change we've ever seen on an iPhone. So fingers crossed this leak is true, because Ming Chico has a pretty good track record, so let's see what happens next year. And of course we have the quad camera setup with, of course, the time of flight camera, which will be a welcome addition to the iPhone. Well, that's it for the story. I know a bit different, with the main story coming in first. But next up, let's talk about the Samsung Galaxy Fold. So the Galaxy Fold finally came back out on the 27th of September, being Friday. And, well, it has quite a few new improvements, including new T-caps at the edge of the display to help prevent dust from getting in there. And of course, next we have the protective layer, which is now firmly tucked underneath the plastic caps at the edges of the screen. And the hinge mechanism is slightly more closer than the media review units. Now, let's turn our attention to Jerry Everything's durability test of the Fold. Now, Jerry Everything decided to see what would happen if you put your Samsung Galaxy Fold in the sand, say at a beach. So he took some sand, put it inside the phone, closed it up, and next thing you know, you hear this. I'm not gonna commentate over this, but just listen to this. This thing literally sounds like a pepper grinder. Another shocking thing is that this phone scratches at a level 2 on the Mohs scale of hardness. That is one step softer than plastic. That means your fingernails can literally dig into the phone. Say, whoops, okay, I scratched my Galaxy Fold, what do I do? Oh, and Jerry Rig managed to puncture the display by inserting the tip of his razor blade into the phone. Like seriously, he managed to pierce through the screen. And then 2 seconds later, kaput, it's gone. And that was when he was scratching the sides of the phone, which makes it even harder to believe. So, Samsung has definitely fixed some of the issues, but they've not fixed all of them. If smartphone manufacturers do manage to find a way to make these foldable phones durable and also prevent dust and debris from entering them, then probably foldable phones could be the way of the future. But for now, definitely not. Okay, so this was a pretty long story. Let's move on to our Xiaomi story and then to the OnePlus story. So Xiaomi recently held its event for the Mi Mix Alpha, and this phone does not matter. So if you look at it, this thing has a massive curved display with a massive piece of glass for the camera unit. So, what makes this phone so bad? Well, number one, you're going to be holding the phone by holding the sides, and you're either going to be looking at the front or the back of the phone, which Xiaomi has prioritized. Therefore, the sides are essentially useless in this phone. Now next, drop resistance. This thing is going to score a big fat 0 because as soon as you drop this thing, the screen is probably going to crack because it's a 180% screen to body ratio. So you're practically holding screen all the time, and you know how slippery smartphone screens are. And next is the pricing at $2,800 for this piece of tech. Well, honestly, not worth it because even the Galaxy Fold is cheaper than this, around $900 cheaper than this. So you can see, this is definitely not worth it for the money. Besides the 108 megapixel camera, there is nothing else that is in favor of this phone. To Xiaomi, this phone is good, it looks extremely cool. But innovation also needs to come with practicality. The more practical a product is, the more people will actually buy it. But this phone is more or less a tech demo without any of that proper practicality which other phones do have. And this is all at an exorbitant price point. Like I said, $900 more expensive than the Samsung Galaxy Fold, which makes it totally not worth it. So there you have it. Do not buy this phone, it's gonna break your bank and you're gonna regret it. Okay, by far this is the longest WTH episode I have ever made. But please bear with me for one more story. So OnePlus just announced the OnePlus 7T, and this thing is an absolute beast. You know what the short form of OnePlus is OP? Well, this phone is OP in many ways, especially at the price point is that. This phone is priced a whole $100 cheaper than the OnePlus 7. If you thought Apple did a great thing by reducing the price of the iPhone 11 from the XR by $50, well, OnePlus has just doubled that. And this, by the way, is $100 cheaper also than the iPhone 11. And you get the Snapdragon 855 Plus, a more powerful version of the 855, 3 camera sensors, a weird-looking circular camera covering, and, well, the rest of the phone looks like any other OnePlus phone you've seen this year with the 90Hz refresh rate super smooth display, which is a very good thing to have. And, well, this thing is overall just a beast. Even though we do get the water drop notch back, this thing is still an awesome package for the money. I could go on and on about this, including the colors which are less matte than the 7 series, but overall look really cool. So there you have it, it's an extremely good phone. This phone overall is for the people who really want to upgrade, say from an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 8 or even from the Samsung Galaxies or even previous OnePluses, say the OnePlus 5T. This phone is just for you. Even if you are on a relatively new phone and you're considering upgrading in the future, this phone could be a very good option for you. So that's it for this episode of WTH. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course turn on notifications so you can see more videos like this one. Thank you guys so much for the wonderful support on these 10 episodes of Weekly Tech Highlights. I will be back with more episodes very soon. I'm Abhinav Dileep, this is AVT, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.